As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 73 of Zero to Hero. Got another great guest coming at you today. She's one of those people that just makes it happen. She's got the full time by day, but at night, she is the owner and founder of 79 Rows. So I want to go ahead and bring her in. Her name is Latoya Rozof. Latoya, how are you today?
Hi, I'm so great. I'm good. Thank you for having me on today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm hyped to talk about some dresses. So, before we get into it, tell everybody a little bit about what you got going on there at 79 Rows.
Yes, so I'm Latoya Rozof. I'm the owner of 79 Rose Dress Shop. We are the premier dress shop for curvy girls. And for us, it's not just about clothes. Our mission is to promote body positivity by empowering women to embrace their curves. Society has us all in this little box of beauty. And I'm just here to spread the message that you don't have to be defined by that beauty box. We're going to defy all the beauty myths and allow women to be the queens that they are.
I love that so much. And it's so true. I mean, there has been this perception of what people are supposed to look like. Women, especially, right, put out there really more on the forefront. Obviously, on the lower side, there is a little bit of men, right, that deal with that body image, that kind of thing. But I think what the history of body image really doesn't take into effect is that everybody is different, right? We've all got different medical stuff that we've got going on. We all have different lifestyles, right? I know my body changed when I had a couple kids, even though I wasn't the one that birthed them, right? So we all kind of go through that stuff. So talk a little bit about where you found, hey, we really need to do something here, right? Because I know and the other thing that I love about 79 Rows that I want you to talk a little bit about is it's not just all formal wear, right?
Yeah.
It's everyday stuff. So talk a little bit about how you got started, and then what the mission was with really providing different options.
Yeah. So a little bit of background. I went to K State. Shout out to any Wildcats in the crowd. I went to K State. I majored in fashion. And a minors in business. So I always knew that I was going to do something in the fashion world. So graduated college. I worked for Hall's Can City. I worked for Talbot's. And then I've been in this detour in the HR world for the last 16 years. But I've always had a love and a passion for fashion. I know that's cliche, passion for fashion. But like I'm, the person people come to, help me style, help me look. I mean, I'm going to this event. I need some help, getting ready. And so my husband's from LA. And so we go home to his home every year. And every year we go down to the fashion districts for people who are familiar with California. And so we went down to the fashion district this one trip, and I went down the wrong block. I went down the wholesale block. And this lady was she's trying to sell me like shorts, and she didn't know I didn't have a wholesale license. And so we had a whole discussion, and she schooled me in like 10 minutes. She was like, this is where everybody comes here in New York to get their clothes. And so if you're interested in getting in the field, this is what you need to do. So fast forward, went home, studied, got really excited, oh, I'm gonna open up a boutique. And so I actually went through like a local business incubator program, and I made it to the final rounds. And I didn't get chosen, but I got really good feedback, right? It's like a local Shark Tank pitch type of situation. And they were like, you know what, the concepts, because then my concept was every girl needs a little black dress. And curvy girls especially need a little black dress, right? And so we were going to the feedback from that session was like, hey, black dress shop, super cool, but niche it some more. give it a little bit more of a niche. And so at that time, Ashley Graham, for those who know Ashley Graham, had just graced the cover of Sports Illustrator. So she was like the first curvy model. This was like 7 years ago to grace the cover of Sports Illustrated. That was a big deal. And then kind of just like it was like a duh hearing feedback from like family and friends and things like that. Like if I go to the mall, right, I get punished for having curves. Like it's not catered to me. And so then it just was, that was a light bulb. I'm gonna target curvy women, right? And at that time, I also had got pregnant with my son. And just the things that people say are just so crazy. Like, are you worried about the snapback? Like, I was like, I'm just worried about having a healthy baby. Like, I ain't,
Right.
like, I'm not worried about snapping back. And clearly it wasn't a problem because I got pregnant. So, like, it just, things like that. And so I just like, it just, I'm like, you know what? Not only am I going to sell dresses, but I'm going to just promote this message of body positivity and really allow women to feel comfortable in their skin. I get to work with women from all parts of life, and every time they come into the shop, there's always this story about weight and about size, right? So now I even have this rule when you come into, like, I don't even ask, like, and I, from my history in retail, I know what size I can sum a woman up in 5 seconds and tell her what size she is. So I don't even ask about sizes or dress size, anything like that anymore. We just come in, we have a little mini consultation, and we, get to shopping. And so, did I answer the question? I'm sorry, I got
Yeah,
distracted.
absolutely. No,
I
you
started
absolutely
rambling.
did.
So,
No, and
but
you're
that's how
so
I got
right, because
started.
like
That's how I got started.
you're so right. So little known fact about me, I used to work at Express. That was one of my first like actual jobs in high school. And I was in the Metro North location, which was a women
Okay.
only
Yeah.
location, right? So they didn't have men's clothes. And I noticed when I was working there, I think the biggest size that we carried was like a 10 or a 12.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like you're excluding so many people from even walking in. So I can imagine being a woman, and walking into a store and looking around and realizing they don't have anything that's going to fit me, right? And how that can make you feel. So I love it so much that there's outlets, like you, right, where they can go in, right? It's about, hey, you belong here,
You
right? I
belong
got
here.
something for you, right?
Yeah.
And you don't even need to tell me what size you are. I got you. Bring out the options, right? Let's get it going. I love that so
Exactly.
much.
Like, you don't have to worry about being body shamed. You don't have to worry about coming out the dressing room and it might be another size where you feel inferior. So it's just like I explain, it's a safe shopping zone for women just to be, or anybody. I shouldn't, just say women, but anybody to come in and shop and just feel seen and feel included and feel belonged.
Absolutely. And you have some beautiful pieces as well. I checked quite a few of them out. I love the Instagram, right? You got the lifestyle stuff going on there, which I absolutely love, right? I mean, it's a good all around collection, right? So kudos to
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for starting it, right? Because there are plenty of people that definitely need your help. Right. So beautiful, beautiful thing you got going on. Now, Latoya, let's get into kind of the meat of the show. So not so much 79 rows, right? Not so
Mhm.
much the HR career, but who is Latoya Rozof?
You know what? I would say, like, I am a body positivity enthusiast. I am a lover of life. I like when people come in my presence, I like to leave them better than how they came to me first.
I love that.
I'm an HR professional by day, fashionpreneur by night, wife, mom, sister, friend.
I love that. Sums it all up right there. That's perfect. Now, obviously, when you walk down that alley there in LA in the Fashion District and ended up on the wholesale block, I'm sure the last thing that you were thinking when you went down there was, I'm going to start a business, right? But even after you start a business, a lot of other thoughts come along with that, right? One of them being, I've got to get a social media presence, right? So tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about that social media presence. Obviously, everybody starts there from zero. That's like the common denominator when you get into social media, right? Unless you're a celebrity, which they got a little bit of an advantage, right? But everybody starts at zero. So talk about that journey of starting from zero and where you're at now.
Yeah, so like when I first started my social media page, it was more about brand awareness. Start off with
Yeah.
those teasers like coming soon, and so I had like different images of different like body types and women in dresses. That I started with, and then it just evolved. I mean, I had the pleasure of when I started out of working with a branding company that really helped me put together a strategy, but it's really just like I had pictures of inventory, pictures of models, some behind the scenes, right? Because you
Yeah.
because you learn like social media basically is like a photo book, and people like are streaming kind of like flipping through photos. So I was like, okay, if I'm a customer and I'm on this brand's page, what are some things that I want to see? I want to see the clothes. I want to see the clothes on different type of body types, right? Because if it's about body inclusivity, you got to see it on all type of body types,
Right.
right? And then I want to see some behind the scenes. I want to see a photo shoot. I want to see things they're doing in the community. So those are all the things that along the journey. My page has been up for like 5 years now. So those are all the things that I try to implement on the journey. So like I said, product knowledge. Really kind of, I always put myself in the mind of the consumer. So again, if I'm flipping through social media, what's going to catch me? What's that hashtag that's going to bring that person in?
I love that. Yeah, you're so right. I mean, and people do want to kind of see not only what you're selling, but how you're making that whole process work, right? Like there's entrepreneurs that like to follow that stuff as well, right? That may also be customers and want to see, how is Latoya doing this, right? Or that. So that's definitely good stuff to put out. We do a lot of that at J29 as well, right? We're showing exactly how we're doing what we're doing, right? So that's beautiful. So, what's some of the response been, to different stuff that you've posted, right? So some of the different genres, like the behind the scenes, right, versus the lifestyle, things like that. What's some of the engagement that you've seen?
Yeah, customers really love the behind the scenes. So like now I started like for example, like I just had two big shows in the last 90 days. So like now I
Awesome.
just put like I can tell when I put like it's a show day in my story and like follow the stories, follow us on the journey to see how it goes down. So I do pictures of myself or video of myself packing the shop up, packing my car up when I get to the venue, pick photos of, pictures of me, videos of me steaming things, getting the models dressed. Of course, I'm always behind the stage, so I never get pictures of, the
Right.
actual show. But then, like, and then I encourage my models as well to like go ahead and post, and people love it. And it's just the feedback and the energy is always awesome, and the engagement is always awesome. And then when I do anything, like if I have any photo shoots, doing behind the scenes, like people like really love that behind the scenes. And it was a hard concept for me to grasp at first because I was like, wait, like, do why I wouldn't necessarily care about this, but I guess it's all this is all about metrics, right? And
Right.
so you go with the metrics that gets the most engagement. So behind the scenes always good gets, and then lifestyle shoots always get really good feedback. Like, ooh, thank you for showing me how to wear this, or thank you for how to style this, or thank you for showing me that I could wear this to date night or the bar or whatever I'm going.
Yeah, absolutely. Those metrics are definitely a good thing to see there as well, right? Obviously, what's most important is people are buying dresses, right? So, have you
Yeah,
seen some direct translation between the social media and then actual sales on the website?
I do, and I can
Love it.
always tell. Like, if I did, like I used to do, like I need to get back to it. I used to do like a dress of the week or outfit of the day, and I can always
Yeah.
tell when people went. I can always obviously I can track
Right.
when
Right.
that posted, and then when people actually went to the website to kind of check it out.
And now
Or
you're
I
sold
can
out of the
always
dress. Yeah.
right, or I can
Yeah.
tell when like with my appointments, my shop's by appointment, and so I can always tell when when more appointments are get scheduled.
I love that, right? And that's really what social media is supposed to be, right? I mean, I think a lot of people get caught up in those, we call them vanity metrics, right? Where with the likes and the shares, right? And the comments. But if they're not buying dresses, then why are we posting? Right?
Why
Like
are
it's
we
good for the brand
posting?
awareness, but if they're not actually buying something, then it's a waste of time, right? So I love hearing that it is translating, right? Which is by far the most important thing when we're talking about marketing on social media. So that is powerful. We skipped over this earlier. I want to go back just a little bit. You talked
Okay.
about the entrepreneur incubators, right? That you went to. That we have so many great ones here in Kansas City, right? Porterhouse, we got People of All Colors Succeed. I mean, there's a ton of them, right? So who was it that you went to, and tell us a little bit more about that experience?
Oh, the very first one I went through is Beta Blocks,
Okay.
BLO. And so I went through and they were the ones who kind of gave me that feedback of like, you need to, niche it more. And so that was about 6. My son is 7, so that was about 7 years ago when I went through that one and through the selection process. And then I've been through several here in Kansas City since then.
I love that. Yeah, I mean the entrepreneurial network here in Kansas City, like I said, is so strong, and so many entrepreneurs here in the city are willing to help other entrepreneurs succeed, right? So if you are one of those newer entrepreneurs out there that's watching this, check one of those out, right? I mean, there's a ton of them here in
Yeah,
Keystone's one of them, right? I mean, there's a million people out there that are willing to help you, so definitely get out there and take a look at those, right? I mean, these are experienced people that know what they're talking about, and they can definitely help guide you in the right direction. So I'm glad
absolutely.
that you brought that up.
And then shout out to Porterhouse KC. That's been
Big Dan.
like one, yeah, that's been one of my favorite ones. And they're all great. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, but they were all been great. But just the connections, like I went through it during COVID and I, graduated or whatever. And I still like get these alumni contacts that continue to help me to, put my business forward. And I actually I did my first pitch last year and I won. It was through
Love it.
Porterhouse. It was a big deal. So yeah, this Kansas City has so many awesome incubator programs.
Yeah, we're big fans of Dan and Sharon over here. I know I am personally. And it goes back to when we were talking about social media. That's something that Dan is so good at, right? He's always in a coffee shop. He's very on brand, right? He's got the beanie or the bill of some sort, right? That he's rocking always. So I love it, man. Shout out to Big Dan Smith for sure. Now, Latoya, every superhero has a defining moment. What is yours when it comes to your life and career?
Ooh, defining moment. Weird enough, I'm going to say this year. So, I've been in business. This will be my officially 6th year in business this year. And Kansas City Fashion Week is one of the biggest platforms here in Kansas City. And I have always been to Kansas City Fashion Week. Like I've been a guest for years. And so last year was the first year I was like, I'm going to apply just to kind of see, what happened. I kind of figure,
Yeah,
y'all get the thanks, but no thanks. We'll see you.
sure.
You're not
Worst
cool
case,
enough.
right?
Like, right, worst case, I'm put myself out there.
Yeah.
And I went and I applied. And not only did I get in and I just was on as in the March show, but it was like they were like, we've been waiting for you. We've been watching you.
Oh, that's so
Right.
awesome.
So it was
Yeah.
like really like confirmation that all the things that I was doing, like, you think like all these little small steps as an entrepreneur, you think it's like, nobody's watching, nobody's seeing, but people are watching and people are evaluating you. And so that was my defining moment that, you know what, like, not that I had made it, but I was on the right track and doing the right thing and influencing the right people.
I love that. Yeah, and it kind of goes back to that your brain's like a computer, right? Right. So we're putting in things like, oh, I don't know, and they're on the other side, they're like, we've been waiting for you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you've been
So it's
waiting.
get out of your head, you know what I mean? And that goes for everybody. My daughter has asked me several times the last week, what's your biggest weakness? I'm like, my brain,
Yeah.
100%. But I follow that up with, that's also my greatest strength.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so true. I mean, depending on what's going in there, that's either going to be your biggest deterrent or it's going to be your biggest helper to get you through whatever you got to get through, right? So I love that you brought that up. I mean, that's so powerful for, I think, like I said, a lot of people to hear of. I didn't know, right? They're probably going to say no, and here we are. They're
Yeah.
waiting for you to knock on the door and say, "I'm ready for you." So that's so good. I love that. I thought you were going to go for sure when you took that wrong turn in LA, but
Oh,
you got me with the curveball there. I love it.
you
I
know
love it.
what? Yeah, like that story, yeah, it wasn't as defining as this one. And I think it
I
just
love
was
that.
like, I think recently it was just like stay consistent, follow the path, even when you feel like you get stuck. just take a step back, right? Because there's a certain amount of grit that's needed to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right? And so just take a step back, take a breath, but be consistent and keep putting yourself out there, because you never know, like, again, who's on the other side, like either watching you or supporting you from afar. It was really
Right.
cool to say, hey, we've been supporting you, like, we get it.
Right, absolutely. And that page is probably has never liked anything on 79 Rows either, right? But they saw you, right? They obviously are watching, which is an absolutely beautiful thing, right? So stay out of those metrics, y'all. People are paying attention to what you're doing, all right? All right, next one here for you, Latoya. What attributes do you feel really define what a hero is?
I think what defines a hero, in my perspective, is the mark that you leave on people. I think it goes
Mm,
back to that Maya Angelou quote that says, people don't remember what you say, but they remember how you make them feel, right?
mm,
And so I feel like a hero, like the superhero powers, is any superhero powers for you to leave a positive impact, legacy, whatever word that you want to use on people, right? Because you come in contact with, we come back with so many people, so many things every day, but you always remember that one person that impacted you for the positive, that one person that made you say, "Ooh, maybe I should get into this career," or that one person who encouraged you to face your fears. So to me, that's a superpower, to be able to affect someone's actions in a positive way.
That's so powerful. That's one that we haven't heard before. So I give you kudos for the originality on that for sure. And it's so true, right? I mean, that you hear people talk about their teacher from 30 years ago, right? Positive or negative, right? But they left a feeling based off of what they said that changed the course of that person's life, right? So whether that be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, whoever that is, that's such a good answer, and it really does sum up all of it, right? The empathy that goes into that, and the caring and all that kind of thing, the impact that you leave on somebody. I love that. That's a really good answer. All right, Latoya, last question for you. This is the one that's kind of tripped people up here recently. If you had to relate yourself to a superhero, who would that superhero be? And give us a couple reasons why.
If I had to pick a superhero that relates best to me, who would that be and why? So we're into Marvel. I have a 6.5 year old, so we're totally into Marvel and
Love it.
DC and everything
Yeah.
like that. So, hero, and I would have to say like Batman,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I love it.
Batman had a rough past, right?
Yeah.
But Batman put all that aside to help others, right? He's this
Mm,
awesome superhero with these awesome superpowers to help people. And while he's going through his own stuff, while he's dealing with his parents and being an orphan and all that stuff like that,
yeah.
but he's able to still put that aside to help others and save the world. So I would say I can't compare myself to Batman, but I can compare my wanting to save the world or leave people better than where I found them to
Mm.
Batman,
I love it.
So
Yeah, absolutely. And he used all that stuff to keep driving him, right?
yeah.
It was like I'm gonna take it, and instead of letting it crush me and being a victim, right? I'm gonna champion that, and I'm gonna use that to push it forward. I love that. That's a great answer. Latoya, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are absolutely amazing. How can people keep up with the journey? How can they follow you? How can they buy dresses from you? Throw all that stuff out there.
Yes, so 79 Rows is available by appointment. So if you go to my website, there is an app that you can schedule an appointment with me. And if there is a time on there that doesn't work for you, just shoot me an email and I always make it work. I have flexibility to always make it work. So I want to see your face in the place. So once you make an appointment, I will send you a little consultation, a few questions. And then when you come in, you will have your favorite drink, your favorite music is playing, and we'll just kiki and shop and have a really good time. And I promise you, it's an experience that you haven't had before. Your personalized shopping experience with 79 Rows. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at 79 Rows as well. And it's Rose with a Z, just to play off my last name. It's Rose with a Z. I also send out a weekly Wednesday motivation to my community.
Oh,
And
that's great.
so if you want to sign up to receive that email, you can just sign up, online as well, and you can get that weekly inspiration.
And you got no reason to not sign up for it, right? It's free, and all the positivity that we can put in our brain, we need it, right? Because it takes 10 times as
Absolutely.
much positivity to counteract one negativity, right? So keep that stuff coming. I love it. Latoya, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're awesome.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure, and I had such a great time.
I love it. Everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.
Hey, are we still live? Hey guys, we're still live. Hey guys, this is Kevin Kwok, founder of J29 Creative Group. So who are we? We're a marketing agency here in Kansas City. We're all about a holistic approach to marketing that builds your brand and nurtures online community. But to be honest with you, you guys don't care.